presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
The 0-2 to Hedges and lined out towards right center field on the run. Pence will not get there. It's over his head. The game is tied. Spangenberg is rounding third. The Padres are going to take the lead. Austin Hedges, a 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run, 2-base hit.
Game 161 was all kinds of fun yesterday afternoon here in San Francisco. What does game 162 have in store here this afternoon? Welcome to AT&T Park with Mark Grant. I'm Jesse Agler. Thanks for spending your Sunday with us. The final regular season game of 2017, and we get to see Luis Perdomo back out on the mound. Year 2 in the big leagues for the right-hander.
I think of Luis Perdomo, I think of 2 letters, QS. Jesse, what's that stand for?
Quality start.
Quality start. He's got 16 of them. And why? He's got the sinker baller. He can give you 6 innings, give you 6 innings plus. He's got the 2-seamer as well. The one thing that I'd like to see him is certain fastball location, wipeout pitches over the course of next year. But 62.2% ground balls for Luis Perdomo. That leads the National League. And also breaking balls behind in the count too. More quality starts, more than half quality starts this year for Luis Perdomo.
Nice job. Some bright spots from 2017. Jose Perella, guy we haven't talked about as much as of late because he's been hurt, but a really nice season for him. And guys you expect back next year to contribute.
Jose Perella can rake flat out. He hits the ball hard each and every time he's at the plate. He's going to be healthy next spring. Manuel Margot, my favorite Padre. Will Myers. Hey, I'd like to see him hit 40 home runs, right? Dinelson Lamet, he made strides. First 3 pitches in the big leagues. Uno, dos, adios. And then Brad Hand, the all-star. He just wiped out every hitter. A great year for Brad Hand. So, hey, next year, we'll see you in Peoria.
Yes, we will. The stage is set here in San Francisco. First pitch is coming up next, and a season of memories. We'll see what the final day of 2017 has in store this afternoon at AT&T Park.
Craig Stammen. They got him. That is as good as it gets.
That's some kind of play, Austin. Alan Cordoba. You got to be kidding me. He will get the cycles.
The roof is on fire.
It's gone. Walk-off home run. Oh, you can talk to the hand.
The sights and sounds of 2017. Weather brought to you by your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. 68 degrees and mostly sunny here in San Francisco for the final game of the 2017 season. With Mark Grant and Bob Scanlon and our entire hard-working Fox Sports San Diego crew, I'm Jesse Agler. Johnny Cueto ready to go, and we're underway as he delivers high and outside to Travis Jankowski. Leading off today, Manuel Margot gets the day, and you're never quite sure what you're going to see lineup-wise in the final game of the season, and certainly some things mixed up here for the Padres.
Starting off with the left-hander Jankowski against the veteran Cueto. I think this is a good test right here for Travis Jankowski. And for Travis, it might be game 162 for the club, but he's going to take this like it's a first game of the season. Wants to have a good impression leaving 2017 after this game ends. And I think, Jesse, it's always fun to see Johnny Cueto twirl.
Yeah, he does it differently than anybody else in baseball. He gives you many different looks, many different tempos. He'll turn his back like that. And Jankowski trying to shoot the gap in left center field. He does. Extra bases to start the game for the Padres. Jankowski's got an easy two, and he's standing with a leadoff double here against Cueto in the first.
Remember talking to Andy Green, and he said he would like to see Travis Jankowski, and it's obvious. Hard line drives, hard grounders from the left side. Utilize that speed. Looks like a little cut fastball or a slider. Good sound off the barrel and splitting that left center field gap. And there goes the no-hitter.
All smiles in the Padre dugout down on the first base side. And a speedy guy in scoring position for Eric Ibar. Couple of extra base hits this month for Jankowski, most of the year on the DL, some time in AAA, and now back in the bigs in the final month of the season. Ibar, the switch hitter, getting the start at shortstop here this afternoon. Andy Green has not been able to say enough nice things about Eric Ibar, and it isn't just about the numbers, a guy like this. As he drops that one out into right center field. I don't know what Hunter Pence was doing, but he's just now getting to it. Jankowski rounding third base. Panic will not relay home, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Austin Hedges had the big double in the ninth inning yesterday afternoon, and now back-to-back doubles to start it off against Cueto here today.
That was a weird play, and I'll tell you why. First of all, Hunter Pence, I don't know whether he lost that ball, but Ibar gets on top of this one nicely, sends it on its way in right center field. Now Hunter Pence to his right, he comes in, stumbles a little bit, and then all of a sudden no chance. Travis Jankowski, he had to hold up because he thought maybe when that ball was hit somebody might have caught it. He scores easily. Ibar trades places with him for his 15th double.
Nice way to start it. And now Carlos Asuaje takes the breaking ball for a strike. Brought their hitting shoes.
Yes, why not? Swing early and often.
Giants took game one of the series on Friday night. Yesterday, the come from behind 3-2 victory on the Hedges hit on an 0-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. 0-2 on Asuaje. And with a win today, the Padres would win every series against the Giants this year. As you take a peek at what Johnny Cueto has to offer, there's plenty there.
He's got the effective fastball. He can cut that fastball, and the ineffective slider. Sometimes it's a little flat. Opponent's hitting 340, and then the rest of his arsenal.
He's had some injury stuff this year, Cueto. This is only his 25th start of the season, and that's the fewest he's had since 2013.
Some blister issues, huh?
Yeah, blister, flexor tendon strain. You never like that. And for Bruce Bochy, the culmination of what I'm sure was a very long year down in that dugout.
After having the success that we all know, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, this is a year for the Giants that'll just kick you right in the gut.
Asuaje lines one out to right field, and Pence again can't make the play. Ibar had to wait up. He makes his way to third base, and 3 straight hits for the Padres against Cueto here in the top of the first.
Boy, Hunter Pence really isn't the most graceful right field. And that's not a knock on Hunter because he's brought a lot to this ball club, right? I mean, there are guys who bring energy, and he's lucky that one doesn't get by him. He actually swatted down at that ball. That ball hits the heel of his glove and go by him. That's trouble.
He is not a walking Tom Amansky video. No. I mean, at the plate in the field, he does it differently than pretty much anybody else. And you're right. That's not what you would call textbook. All you kids out there.
Yeah.
When you got your Little League game.
But he's the guy you want on your team, though, right? Because of his energy and the way he plays the game.
He's a huge part of that clubhouse. Very talented, too. First pitch swinging. Solarte trying to find somebody in his dugout. No balls and a strike.
That's what's called a finder. Ugly finder.
What are you trying to say about Alan Cordoba?
No, well, yeah, that's the joke. In the dugout, anytime there's a line drive in there, you'll hear guys, finder! And they know exactly what you're talking about.
Career high 18 home runs for Solarte this year, and he continues to swing at Cueto. No balls and 2 strikes.
They got the Zapatos de Linea working. The hitting shoes, as you mentioned earlier.
In any language. Bring a smile to your face. Early lead here. Double, single to start. Now Solarte in the hole 0-2. Finishing strong. He's hit in 10 of his last 11. And stays alive there.
Double, single. Sounds like I might order it in and out.
Half your order.
Hey, throw in a chocolate shake for that too, will you?
You let it go in the offseason?
You know what? I got to get something done. We'll talk about that a little later.
Crowd at AT&T trying to rally behind Cueto on 0-2. '25th start, as mentioned, got the win in his last go Monday at Arizona. Went 6, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. He's had 3 straight starts where he's thrown at least 100 pitches. They're not worried about pitch count. They're not worried about innings at any point when it comes to Johnny Cueto. But again, today, last day of the season, you're not going to treat it the way you would have started in July or August. So we'll see. Reaching out for it. Is that going to be another hit? Yes, it gets down in front of Jared Parker. And the throw goes to second base as Ibar comes in and scores. 4 straight hits and a 2-0 Padre lead in the first.
Interesting play there. That's a force out at second base. The runners had to hold because they weren't sure if that ball was going to be caught on the fly. If it's caught, you got to go back. And that's why Jared Parker got to this baseball and he fired it to second base. They were covering for the possible force. So when this ball dumps in there, watch the runners. Got to hold. Now you got to go. And there's the potential throw to second base for the potential force out.
Cueto not getting a lot of help from his defense right now. And the Padres finding some holes. Here's Hunter Renfro, and he's tied up 0-1. Probably not the way Johnny Cueto envisioned this one starting.
Best you can do is when that ball leaves your hand, you're a fielder and make a good quality pitch. Whatever happens after that, out of your control.
Broken bat flare, and this time they'll make the play. Buster Posey at first base goes over and gets it. Out number 1 in the first inning after the first 4 men reached. Padre lineup doing work so far this afternoon, and the lineup brought to you by Toyota. Andy Green for the final time this year. Puts down Jankowski, Ibar, Asuaje, Solarte, and Renfro, all of whom you have already seen. Now Corey Spangenberg with Blash, Gale, and Perdomo coming up. Day off for Margot, day off for Hedges, day off for Will Myers, and a couple of those guys get the opportunity to sort of end it on a high note. Hedges, the big hit yesterday, Myers with his 30th home run. And we'll talk about Will Myers, I'm sure, even though he's not in the lineup. I mean, 30 homers, 29 doubles, 20 stolen bases, and it was not a good year. Those are still big numbers.
Exactly. Will Myers, with his potential, I mean, he should be a 40+ home run guy. Agree?
Yeah.
Drive in a hundo. Agree?
Yeah.
Steal 20 to 30. Agree?
Yeah.
He should wear a hoodie and sunglasses when he's not playing. Agree?
No question about it. Spangenberg goes the other way, and another one gets down in front of Parker.
Wow.
Everybody moves up 90 feet, and the bases are loaded for Jabari Blash.
The Friars are coming out hacking this afternoon in San Francisco.
And pitching coach Dave Righetti is going out to talk to Johnny Cueto.
Let's check out the location. It's down, it's away, and Spangenberg does a nice job like Jankowski did to lead off this game.
How about the Solarte one? It was a foot outside.
Yeah. Good plate coverage.
So the Padres are beating up on Johnny Cueto here in the top of the first inning. They have gotten two. They've got the bases loaded, only one out. And that is bullpen action for the Giants down the left field line. A third of an inning into this game.
It might be Johnny Holstaff this afternoon for the Giants.
Not Johnny Cueto.
Very good. In fact, I didn't see Johnny Holstaff listed on the rosters. He's that fictitious pitcher that's always not listed. Johnny Holstaff.
It's a collective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Albert Suarez, part of Johnny Holstaff, but he ain't the whole thing. And he's the guy warming up. So here's Jabari. First pitch swinging, ground ball left side. Crawford gets one, Panic gets two. Well, that's why the pitching coach comes out and talks to the starter. Hey, we need 2 outs here. Padres, though, get it done. 5 hits in the first inning against Johnny Cueto. They score a couple of times. Eric Ibar, an RBI double around Hunter Pence. And the Padres an early lead in SM. Brought to you by Sequan Casino. Sign up for the Padres Club Card today. By Petco, where the pets go. And by the all-new Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. Half an inning done here at AT&T Park. And the Padres a 2-0 lead on Bruce Bochy's San Francisco Giants. Giant lineup brought to you by Hyundai. Pretty much what we have seen all series long. Pence, Panic, Span, Posey, Crawford, Sandoval, Parker, Hundley, and the pitcher Johnny Cueto. Pence leading off against Luis Perdomo, his 29th start of the season, 5th against the Giants.
24-year-old is effective slider. We know about that. That's a big strength for Luis, and hitters have chased the slider down and away. And you know what? Once again, Hunter Pence is bailing big time. I've seen him off, not even swing like that last pitch there. His front side is opening up.
Comebacker. We've seen Luis field his position very nicely going back to last year. And Pence out for the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. And what do you know, a ground ball from Luis Perdomo. Padre defense is brought to you by Lincoln. Rocky Gale behind the plate. Saw him at his first major league home run on that last homestand, making his 3rd big league start. Spangenberg and Ibar on the left side of the infield, Asuaje and Solarte on the right side, with Blash, Jankowski, and Renfro in the outfield. And hey, infield defense with Perdomo on the mound is always a talking point because of all those ground balls. And Joe Panik takes strike one.
62.2% ground ball percentage for I'll get another percentage in there some way, shape or form, but he gets a lot of grounders is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And infielders know that. So at the start of a game, they know they're going to be on their game. They've got to be on their game, moving to their right. And with a sinker ball, you get a lot of choppers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be willing and able to charge that baseball. Like, for instance, at third base right now, Corey Spangenberg, he's playing back at third, but still. Joe Panik can chop one that way, and that's when you really got to barehand it and make the good throw to first.
On 1-2, Panik grounds one foul. I thought one of the most interesting conversations we had with Andy Green at any point this year was about the defense behind Perdomo, because he has been let down more than his fair share this year in terms of errors. And he said it's part of the deal as a sinker baller, as a ground ball pitcher. You just know that there are going to be more errors against you or with you on the mound than other places, other guys. And you have to deal with it, and you have to be able to move on from it, and you can't let it spiral out of control. But that can't be the easiest thing out there for a guy.
It's not. And the same thing with Clayton Richard, too. Would you agree, Jesse?
Of course.
He
also has a high percentage of ground balls.
Right. And Andy even said, he said, you know, we don't have the tightest defense on the infield.
Well,
if you can tighten that up a little bit, hey, the hits will go down. The innings will start to even out, because Clayton Richard has given up more hits than innings pitched. And there's going to be those infield singles. I mean, it's going to happen. And as a pitcher, you made the point, you've just got to erase that, because that's your strength. That's your game.
Another ground ball. It'll be handled by Solarte. Jan Hervis takes it himself. 2 away in the bottom of the first inning as we take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, this guy's having fun, Solarte, and I say get an early lead and hold it.
Wow.
Go home happy. We want to hear Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, on the bus saying happy flight. And see you in Peoria.
It'll be here before you know it.
How many days? Usually somebody comes up with the number of days before first day of spring training.
We'll have somebody crunch it.
Yeah.
I don't have enough fingers. Denard Span has been pesky all series long. Had a 10-pitch at bat in the first game, a 12-pitch walk yesterday. Batting down in the 3 spot for Bruce Bochy for the 3rd consecutive game. And on 1-0, he swings and misses.
There's that slider from Perdomo.
Fastball command is the thing that Andy Green talked about wanting to see Perdomo improve. When you hear something like that as a pitcher going into the offseason, how much can you focus on that in the winter months? Those sorts of things.
The thing about pitching is that you can't overthrow, right? So you've got to condense it, memorize it, be able to do it each and every time out, and then by spring training, once Peoria comes around, hit your spots, Luis.
And a drive to deep left field. This is back towards the Western Metal Supply Company, and it's gone! Rocky Gale with a 2-run home run can smile his way all the way around the bases. He just hit it.
On the last homestand, Rocky Gale with his first big league home run. He makes his third big league start here this afternoon, and he leads off in the top of the second inning after the Padres sent 7 men to the plate against Johnny Cueto in the first. That was your favorite moment, wasn't it?
I love
the
it.
Pregame, yeah.
And I love, you know, we've discussed this before, where it's easy to root for the #1 pick, the guy who throws 100. He's got the sweeping wipeout slider. It's easy to root for the #1 guy picked who can hit 40 home runs and just a stud in college, and he's Golden Spikes winner. But I like guys like Rocky Gale because they fight, they scratch, they claw, cup of coffee here and there, and he hits his first big league home run, and the expression on his face tells it all.
All time.
Yep.
All time. One of the great reactions that we've ever seen for anything, frankly.
24th round selection in 2010. Starting in Eugene, A-ball. And 11 games in 2015. Getting a September call up this year. Congratulations, Rocky Gale. First big league homer.
Now he gets a look at Johnny Cueto, who quick pitches him, and he sends one in the air to left center field. Spanning the outfield to make the play. One down in the top of the second inning. And the pitcher, Luis Perdomo, coming up.
So getting back to your point regarding fastball command, you know, it's not like a golfer, Jesse, or a basketball player where you can go out and swing the club 500 times, right?
Yeah.
Pitcher can't go a workout session on a Monday. Okay, I'm going to throw 500 pitches. You can't do it. That's why you have to, man, you got to dial it in and get that release point, get the muscle memory going, knowing how to locate during the offseason, to answer your question. And then, you know, work on your breaking stuff. So when spring training comes around, you're locked in and hopefully can incorporate that.
Perdomo's had a fun year at the plate. That was my other option. You know, in the pregame today, we did our favorite memories.
Yeah.
I did the 2 Clayton Richard complete games. But I know Sweeney was talking about Perdomo with the 3 triples for Luis Perdomo this year at the plate. I thought some of the most fun moments of the season. Strikes out here, but there hadn't been a pitcher who hit 3 triples in one season since the D-Train did it 10 years ago. Dontrell Willis.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a triples park.
Yes, it is. There's some room out there. You okay?
Oh, I'm having a blast.
You all right?
I'm having a blast.
What's going on?
This is great. It's like a garage sale up here.
Jankowski with 2 outs, and the base is empty.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's one game.
You look calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah,
you're not flustered at all.
I'm working on my pitches for the offseason. It's a pleasure been working with you.
Hey, you as well. And to Don, if he's watching down in San Diego.
Yeah, and thank you to all the Friar faithful who tune in and bring us into your home each and every night. It means a lot to us, and you know, we contact each other through Twitter, and they send us little notes during the course of the season, and that's nice to be in touch with the fans.
I agree. Ball and 2 strikes on Travis Jankowski.
Oh, I think Jankowski just got a foul ball off the shin.
You know what? I'm fine. You got me the other night in the chin, you know, on a foul tip off the catcher's mask. First of all, it's your bit with Don.
Yeah,
I'm not playing your reindeer games. That's for you guys. I'm not trying to encroach on his territory.
Okay, that's fair.
It's, by the way, good bit. Very funny. I mean, every time this year a guy fouled one off of himself or a catcher took one off the shoulder, you did it to Don. And I got to tell you, from what I saw, it looked like you were doing it for real.
I was.
It wasn't soft.
Do you know, every time, after like the 4th time I did it, there'd be a hitter at the plate and they'd foul one off, and like I'd kind of snake eye him, fish eye him, look, and like he's looking over. Is he going to come over with the ball and get me? He was anticipating it.
Full count now on Jankowski. He trained him.
Yeah,
like a dog. Like it's pretty funny, but for him probably kind of painful.
Very.
Told me he wore a cup the second half of the season. Travis gets that one over Crawford and into left center field. Jankowski doubled and scored in the first. Now a 2-out single in the second. And already the Padres with 6 hits against Johnny Cueto.
Once again, Cueto wants to bury this one in, but it's up. When a pitcher misses up like that, even when you jam a guy, you allow it to get over the infielder's head. Now, if that's down, it's a different story. It's a grounder. So bad location. Jankowski taking advantage of that one. Second knock of the day.
Jankowski's got 3 stolen bases this year in the majors, has not been caught. Cueto checks on him. Cueto's season got off to a little bit of a delayed start. I remember when we were in spring training, his father wasn't doing well back in the Dominican Republic, so he had gone home to help tend to that situation. Got a little bit of a late start. World Baseball Classic. It's just been an off year for him, it seems, from the start. And that's certainly reflected in all of the numbers for him, both in terms of the ERA and that kind of stuff, just the overall total number of appearances. And for a guy going into an opt-out year in his contract, I think the expectation here in San Francisco is that he'll remain with the Giants. But a tough year for him and for everybody here.
And I think he's been around the block enough to know that, this is a year he's going to accept that. There's nothing he can do about it, and go into spring training next year if he's going to be in that Giant uniform. And he's the type of pitcher who can just, I think, turn it around and have a stellar year next year.
Similar thing with Bumgarner.
Yes.
Tough year for him. I can't imagine they're worried about him in 2018. Going into spring training, the Giants will be one of the most interesting stories in baseball next year.
Talk about left-handed bullpen. What's going to happen at first base? What's going to happen at third base?
Power bat in the outfield.
Yeah.
Ibar, RBI double and a run scored his first time. Another check on Jankowski. Ibar got the day off yesterday. Jankowski running, and it's popped up. Nick Hundley giving it a look and runs out of space. Another guy that'll be an interesting piece at the beginning of next year. Jankowski, the whole outfield situation muddled, certainly in a good way. You expect Manuel Margot to be in center, probably Renfro in right, and then Andy Green's got to watch for Jose Perella and Jankowski. Alex Dickerson coming back.
That's the name I was going to mention, Alex Dickerson. That's going to be an interesting scenario there.
Powerful left-handed hitter.
Yep.
And don't forget, they want to see more improvement out of guys like Renfro. I mean, Andy, as recently as this past week, said he's still got to prove that he's more than a platoon outfielder.
I agree.
Jankowski going again, and another foul ball at the plate.
Hey, this is the big leagues, man. You got to produce. Enough of the prospect label, right?
Comes a point.
Getting an opportunity at the big league level, and they're not expected for rookies to hit 40, 50 home runs like an Aaron Judge every year, but still, always room for improvement.
Another payoff pitch from Cueto to Ibar. A couple of veterans going head to head, and a slow roller to shortstop. Crawford boots it. It wasn't going to be a routine play, but it's something you certainly expect the Gold Glove shortstop to make. He does not. And now 2 on, 2 out for Asuaje.
I tell you what, that is a play that I would bet $1 every time that he's going to make it. Oh, you know what it looked like? It looked like that ball in the last hop hit the lip of the grass and stayed down on him.
Give him an infield single. It's just more points for Donnie and pick the stick.
Oh, no.
2 on, 2 out. Jankowski and Ibar already 2 for 2 each in the game. Nice series here in San Francisco for Carlos. Hundley fighting the sun, and at first base a reaching grab by Buster Posey into the unfriendly dugout. Inning comes to a close after a pair of 2-out hits Padres strand a couple. He's a catcher. Nice play, Buster. Posey going to lead off here against Luis Perdomo. Padres got a pair of runs on 5 hits in the first inning against Johnny Cueto and have a 2-0 lead as Posey takes strike one. Giants leading hitter at .318, one of the top batting averages in the National League this season. He's going to add to it with this one, looping down the left field line and heading towards the corner. Boy, Buster Posey on Friday night had 3 doubles, and now a leadoff 2-bagger here in the second this afternoon. 2017 will not be the year of the first Padre no-hitter.
And one of the prettiest swings from a right-handed hitter in a long time. And Buster Posey, why does he hit .318 and above? It's because he can get to pitches like that. That was a 2-seamer in, got his hands in, and keeping that ball fair. That is not easy to do. He's done it hundreds of times in his career. 34th time this year.
Regular season game number 7,814 in Padre history.
You have to wait another year, huh?
Guess so. Good things come to those who wait.
I've heard that one before.
Crawford's had an up and down series in the field. He's their leading active home run guy with 14. And he golfs that one out to right. Renfro's got to go back into the shadows, and he makes the catch. Posey tagging from second to third. He'll get there ahead of the throw. And now a 1-out runner on third base for the Giants.
Tricky outfield there. It didn't come into play for Hunter on that particular play, but you've got the auxiliary scoreboard. You've got nooks and crannies. You've got angles. You've got Death Valley in right center. A lot going on out there.
Got a lot of interesting outfielders in this division. You know, Arizona's just big. Colorado obviously is huge, and then you got the big tall wall in right field. You got the aviary in right center now.
In Colorado.
Yeah, the big bird cage.
Yeah.
You got that chain link fence up. Pablo Sandoval with 1 out, runner on third base.
I love that.
I mean, Petco might play about as normal, aside from Dodger Stadium, which is symmetrical, as any of them.
And remember, it's only 309 down that right field line, but then it jets out to 365. And then 421.
Ground ball, first base. Solarte will take the out at first. Giants are on the board here in the second. RBI ground out for the Panda. 2-1 game. Now 2 outs with the bases empty. And Perdomo will face Jarrett Parker. Parker playing in his 51st big league game of the year. Second-round pick for the Giants back in 2010. Spent a lot of time on the DL this year. Fractured clavicle. Missed almost 100 games.
Yeah, that's another issue, Jesse, is the DL list for the Giants this year. My goodness. It goes on and on and on. Remember the concussion Michael Morse got in that fight?
Yeah, the Strickland Harper brawl.
Yes.
Probably ended his career. Almost certainly did.
So sad.
Banged into his own guy.
Yeah. Belt, Morse, Bumgarner, Crawford, Cueto, Melanson, Nunez, Panic, Parker, Pence, Posey, Span, all on the DL. Spent some time on the DL this year.
Little pause by Perdomo. Tried to tie Parker up. And look, baseball injuries are one thing, but for Bruce Bochy down there, I mean, you're talking about Morse being concussed, running into his own guy in a benches clearing situation. Bumgarner on the dirt bike. Those are different than, you know, a guy breaking his clavicle or something.
Right.
Nice pitch by Perdomo to end the inning. His first strikeout of the afternoon. Giants get one back. Padres lead by 1.
It's okay. Obviously, you have some up and downs. You never want to obviously have an extended down period, but it happens. So, but it was okay. I got sent down. Everybody wants to get sent down, but I got to work through that and battle adversity. Look, you know, I was looking forward to next season, and obviously next year we all got kind of 1 year under our belt now. So it's a fun group and a very exciting group. So I'm ready to see what happens.
That's Hunter Renfro acknowledging that for him personally, it's been a little bit of an up and down season, but he's feeling very good about some of the things that he's been working on towards the end here, guys, especially how he's been using his hands. He wants to quiet him down. One of the things that he wants to bring in is spring training with him next year. And like all the other players, even though they're ready to finish up this season and win today, they already have a little twinkle in their eye about thinking about 2018. Guys, back up to you.
Makes a lot of sense, Bob. And both you guys, I mean, look, the list of players, both position players and pitchers who have been sent down to the minor leagues during their first full year in the big leagues and come back to have great success is as long as any list in baseball.
Right.
It's no detriment to coming back and having a long, productive, even all-star career.
I totally agree with you. You look through the history of baseball, there's been guys that have played a long, long time, all-stars, Hall of Famers, that had horrible starts, had to go back down to the minor leagues, regroup. It might take 2 years, Jesse. And speaking personally, I didn't feel comfortable as a big leaguer until my 3rd year in the big leagues.
I believe that. One of the things Hunter Renfro did after he came back from AAA was, you know, become the first Padre rookie ever to have a 3 home run game. That's the other thing. He went down to AAA. He hit over 500 in El Paso. And then he comes back up and ends up setting the franchise rookie home run record.
And there are a couple of ways of looking at this. You can go down and you can pout, hang your head, and everything goes south, right? Or you can go down with a good attitude and then come back and hopefully pay some dividends. And Hunter Renfro has done that. Still a lot to learn, though. And one other nugget. I went to camp. I never had the luxury of knowing that, I was going to be one of the 25. I went to camp scared. I knew I had to bust my tail and have an impressive spring for the coaches and the manager to say, hey, you're going to break camp with us. I maybe had one spring training where I felt like comfortable, like I belonged.
Birthday boy on the right had a few of those.
Yeah, it's Major League McGuire's birthday today. Mark McGuire.
He usually knew he was going to be on the squad. Renfro skies this one to deep left field. Parker is at the wall, looking up, and another 26th for Hunter Renfro, adding to his Padres rookie record. And the Padres get that run right back, 3-1 here in the third. He is strong.
Another elevated pitch, it looked like, from Johnny Cueto. He wants, oh yeah, that's middle in. What a good looking swing.
Wide strike to Spangenberg. Corey singled the other way his first time up. Padres already 3 runs on 8 hits against Johnny Cueto this afternoon. Got 2 in the first, have added another here in the third. Padres on this road trip in LA and the first 2 in San Francisco. They hadn't scored a single run in the first 3 innings in any of the games until today. Nice to see the quick start and to do it against a guy of Cueto's quality. More smiles for Hunter.
That's the thing about Hunter Renfro is that he can get jammed a little bit if he's quick enough to it to send it down the line. He can set it on its way. Hey, a home run in the first row is just as good about 40 rows back too, don't you think?
No bonus points for distance.
No, absolutely.
Launch angle, maybe.
Love launch angle.
What do you think the ideal launch angle is for a home run?
Isn't it 45 degrees?
I don't think so.
Is it 90? No, you got 90 degrees. Half is 45. I would say maybe 28, 30.
I think that's about in range. Low 30s, maybe.
Yeah. I was thinking half of 90.
That's 45. Yeah.
Right. But you're talking line drive, something. 45's got a little bit more loft to it. Who cares? It's gone.
On the ground, not a lot of launch angle there. And Posey handles it for out number 2. Did you know you can have negative launch angle?
I was just going to say that. That right there would be negative launch angle.
Because you hit it into the ground. Nate Colbert's record set in 1969, broken by Hunter Renfro this past week, and he is now putting a little bit more distance between himself and whoever comes after him in the future. Again, he spent a month at AAA.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Flash after the first pitch, shallow center field. Span won't get there. And Jabari adds to the hit parade. Everybody's getting involved. A 2-out single. And now at bat number 2 for Rocky Gale.
Already everybody in the lineup, with the exception of Rocky and Luis, everybody else has a hit. Good time now for Rocky to get a knock. And how about if Luis gets a triple today? It's a triples park.
We were talking about it, and no pitcher has had 4 triples in a season since 1955. That's basically what we're watching for with Perdomo at the plate today.
1955. First thing that comes to mind is Brooklyn Dodgers, Don Newcomb.
They won the World Series, yes.
Johnny Padres.
First World Series MVP.
Beat the Yankees.
Johnny Padres.
Yeah.
Spelled differently than Padres.
P-O-D-R-E-S. Yes. Yeah. Pitching coach for many years after his playing career.
He's not the one who had the 4 triples. Robin Roberts.
Robin Roberts.
Phillies.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah. That's Robin. This is Rocky. Hard hit, but right at Joe Panik. And he goes the short way. Inning comes to a close, but the Padres have added on here in the third against Johnny Cueto. Hunter Renfro has already set the Padre rookie home run record. He adds to it, number 26, deep into the afternoon sky in San Francisco.
Tries to go away, I want it to stay away. When he tries to go in with the fastball, I want it to be in, and it's his big thing for the offseason as he goes through and tries to develop and take the next step. It's pitching in lanes and staying in those lanes, and most of his damage occurs when his ball ends up in a different lane than he intended for it to be in, and that's fastball command. I mean, that's the essence of pitching. So I'd love to see that executed well today.
That's the skipper, Andy Green, talking about his young starter, Luis Perdomo, and what he expects out of the right-hander, not only today, but to work on during the offseason coming into next year, locating that fastball. The one thing that he's really improved on this year, though, guys, is locating it better to left-hand batters. The proof is in the pudding. Last year, 15 home runs allowed to lefties. This season so far, only 5. More improvement to go, and Luis Perdomo looking forward to battling for a rotation spot next season, guys.
Yeah, that's a good note, Bob, and good numbers obviously for Luis Perdomo. So I'll ask both you guys. We kind of got into it a little bit, before. You tell a pitcher, hey, better fastball command. What do you do? Like Marco was saying, Bob, there's only so many bullets in your arm over the course of an offseason.
It's a good point, Jesse, and I agree with Mudd 100%. And sometimes we forget that. Oh, just work on it more. Well, there's only so much you can do as a pitcher. For me, it came down to 2 things. First of all, I had to have quality bullpens. I really need to go in and focus on what it is that I needed to improve upon. And second of all, as players, sometimes we get caught in practicing things we're already good at because it feels good. You have to force yourself to practice the things that you don't feel as comfortable with.
Ibar's throw a little bit off the mark, and Solarte could not make the stretch. Talked about the importance of infield defense in back of a ground ball machine like Luis Perdomo. And the Giants have their leadoff man aboard here in the third. I think they're calling it an infield single.
Wow.
So Nick Hundley reaches. They've called it an error. I agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree too.
Press box announced one thing. They put another thing on the scoreboard. So you can guess. It's your choice.
Here's what I look at. Eric Ibar, he fielded that ball in front of him with 2 hands. I don't care if you got to go 5-6 steps. If you do that, I think that's a play that should be made.
I agree. He got there. He made the play. It's just the throw was off the mark. Johnny Cueto, one of the best sacrifice bunters in all of baseball. Trying to do that here. And now ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
Getting back to what Bob and I we're talking about the fastball location.
Yes.
Darren Balsley has told me many, many times. I'll go up to him and say, hey, what did this guy fill in the blank work on last bullpen? All of his pitches were fastball location. We didn't throw any breaking stuff. It was solely fastball location, both sides of the plate. And like Bob said, you've got to get yourself, even though it's the off season, you got to put yourself in a frame of mind to where, okay, the intensity's got to go up. It's just not going through the motions. Okay, I got that ball away, in, whatever. No, you got to get the adrenaline going. Put yourself. That's where it works between the ears to be successful and make good pitches each and every time you go out during the off season.
That is a foul ball. And now 2-2 on Cueto. 84 sacrifice bunts in his career.
That's nice.
That's a lot. Not much of a hitter, but he does that well. And I think you'll take that trade 10 times out of 10 as a manager.
Pitchers take pride in that.
Gets the sign from third base coach Phil Nevin. See what they decide here with 2 strikes. Hundley at first base after the error on Eric Ibar. And he does show bunt, and he tips it into Gale's mitt. That is strike 3. Perdomo's second strikeout of the afternoon as we check back in with Bob.
You know, Mud, to your point about the work that you do in the offseason, there was a drill that I did that sort of forced me to work on my fastball command. And so often we put a catcher back there and we'd throw to a catcher, right? And the catcher's glove moves and we think we're hitting our spots, but we don't really know for sure. We can get lazy. What I would do is I would put a glove on a cinder block so that the glove couldn't move at all. And I would challenge myself to knock that glove off the cinder block, and it forced me to get focused into the mitt and forced me to actually make pitches to both sides of the plate. It was the only way that I could do it to make sure that I wasn't cheating myself.
Yeah, that's a great drill. That's a great idea.
I was thinking soup cans.
Soup cans would be good.
like cowboys shooting soup.
Exactly. Put an apple up there.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
How about those things like at the carnival where they're on a hinge, they fall over, you can always just put them back up.
Sure, like the little targets.
Yeah.
You hear a little ding.
Right.
See, if I fell into the same trap with those as I did with everything else, Mud, I'd try to overthrow.
Ball and a strike to Hunter Pence. Grounded back to Perdomo's first time.
Bob, I remember growing up where I did in the Midwest, where in the wintertime we'd throw in the gym. And our coach had a rule. We had wood mounds, so you get that downward playing field. Our rule was if you threw a pitch down the middle, it was a ball.
Nice.
We had to hit the corners.
Wow.
And we would pitch to simulated hitters. Okay, run around second for whatever, from the stretch, whatever. And if you threw a pitch down the middle, ball. It worked against you.
I like it because how often do you actually want to throw one right down the middle?
Yeah.
3-0, but hopefully you're not 3-0.
Right.
Could be a double play. Ibar committed the error, and now Aswahe loses the handle at second base. They do get the out at second. The ball was dropped on the exchange, but it should have been an inning-ending double play.
Ah, that's too bad. That is just a play that's got to be made, and that'll irk a manager and an infield coach.
Aswahe's been very solid this year, too.
Yes.
Pretty clearly on the exchange, so they'll get the out there. But it would have been an easy double play. And here you go. More of the same for Luis Perdomo. How about this? His last 3 starts against the Giants. In one, he allowed 2 runs, only 1 earned. Another 4 runs, only 1 earned. Another 3 runs, only 1 earned. Part of the deal as a ground ball pitcher, but still has to be frustrating.
Yeah, and more bullets, right? More bullets thrown. Now, here's what I like to keep track of. After a particular, you can't assume the double play. But how many pitches he has to throw to get out of this little mess because of that mishap at second base?
There's one. Can make all the difference in a game. It really can. Second pitch after what should have been the inning-ending play is the inning-ending play. So no great harm, no great foul. Go to the 4th inning at San Francisco, 3-1.
To the top of the 4th inning. How have the Padres been doing it? They've been attacking the off-speed pitch of Johnny Cueto. Changeup. Here's a backdoor breaking ball that Solarte is able to launch into left field. Another off-speed pitch. The Padres have done an outstanding job of staying back on the off-speed pitch, including this last one that Hunter Renfro drives over the fence for his 26th home run of the season. Guys, I don't see Cueto throwing quite as hard as we've seen him in the past, but regardless, it looks like they're doing a great job of anticipating his off-speed and taking advantage of it.
No doubt about that. 9 hits already, make it 10. Perdomo down the line. Probably not going to be a triple, but it will be another extra base hit for Luis. He's rounding second base. He's going to try for 3. Here comes the throw. Not in time. 4th triple of the season for Luis Perdomo. Played a little possum there. He kind of slowed up going into second, then turned on the afterburners, and he becomes the first pitcher since 1955 to have 4 3-base hits in a season.
I don't believe what I just saw here. It's another breaking ball. Bob was just talking about Cueto and his breaking stuff, right? Well, Perdomo gets it in between Sandoval and the pillow. Now the race is on. Parker, he's eyeing it, turns it on.
He's got 5 hits this year, a double and 4 triples.
That's amazing. Congratulations to Luis Perdomo. That's been fun to watch. Do you think he had triple right out of the box in his mind?
100%.
I think so too.
I didn't think so. Usually you don't see it to
Right.
left field, you know, down the line. It's got to be a gapper, maybe the opposite way. But first of all, he's a lot faster than you think he is.
And you know what, Jesse? Maybe Jared Parker was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a double no matter what. That kind of attitude. Yeah. But you saw it. He got about a stride shy of the bag at second, and all of a sudden it became a big, long step, and he was going for it. I mean, that's incredible.
It is. Guys on the bench know it, no doubt.
Two and 1 to Jankowski. Padres have another potential run 90 feet away, and now 3 balls and a strike.
Hey, can I take back my Rocky Gale home run and now replace it with the Luis Perdomo triple? I would never do that to Rocky Gale. Still my favorite part, but I'll tell you what, it's 1 and 1A.
I mean, 1955,
yeah.
The last time that happened. It's 20 years before the DH started. He's a great athlete. We've talked about that a lot this year. Came up originally as a young guy as a shortstop. And Cueto's day probably not going to last too much longer. Bullpen action for the 2nd time this afternoon for the Giants. Payoff pitch, and Jankowski off of Cueto. It deflects on the ground, and everybody's going to be safe. Perdomo crosses the plate. 4-1 Padres here in the 4th.
And Johnny Cueto's like, my goodness, what do I need to do?
3rd hit of the day for Jankowski.
They're hitting him to left. They're hitting him to right. They're hitting him to center.
Tough afternoon for Johnny Cueto. More ways than one.
Hitting off his buttocks for the infield knock.
Okay, Forrest.
Something bit me. Travis swinging a hot shillelagh today, huh?
He was running.
He was running.
There it is. Eric Ibar fouls that one out of play.
That's all I have to say about that.
Good day so far for Ibar at the plate. RBI double his 1st time, infield single his 2nd time. Padres with 11 hits against Cueto this afternoon.
You know what, Jesse? I had to double take. When before you just said that, I looked up at the line score. Saw 4-11. I'm like, whoa, wait. 11 hits already.
Ball and 2 strikes now to the Padres shortstop. Now you just did something. My usual partner Ted Leitner, it's a big pet peeve of his.
Okay.
So I'll get a little lesson here, because this
right.
is something Teddy brings up all the time on the radio. Let's get through this bar situation. I'm gonna get a little baseball.
Now I'm a little nervous.
No, it's fine. You know how we all have like our own little things that bug us.
Right.
You know, terminology or whatever, grammar, certain things.
Sure.
Drives Teddy nuts. So where you got runs, hits, and errors on the right there, that's not the line score. Those are the totals.
Oh, totals. I see what you're saying.
The line score is the 1 through 9 that shows you the number of runs scored.
Well, I did start at the first inning. I was looking at the line score, then I was looking at the totals.
Yeah, but the hits aren't listed in the line score, and you were talking about hits. So that's just one of those terminology things. That's the line score, but then at the end, that's not part of the line score. Those are the totals.
Right.
The line score, just the runs per inning for each team. Drives Teddy insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm going to do?
You're going to call it the line score to Teddy.
In between innings, I'm going to say, look at that line score. He's got 11 hits for the Padres.
Ibar sends that one in the air right field. Hunter Pence wobbling his way back, and he makes the catch. Ibar retired for the first time today, and that's the first out here in the 4th inning. All right, we got to watch Perdomo round the bases here. Is he thinking 3 right off the bat?
I think he is.
There he goes.
Did that ball hit him in the knee?
I think it might have, yeah. He's sandwiched between Sandoval and a baseball. Opportunity to catch his breath as well. Scored on the infield hit. And Jankowski just back ahead of that tag. Carlos Isuaje 1 for 2. His last time he fouled out. Nice catch by Posey over the railing of the Padre dugout. Cueto 75 pitches. He's got 1 out in the 4th inning. Even the foul balls are hard this afternoon. How about this? This season, Johnny Cueto has had 1 start in which he's given up double-digit hits.
That's incredible.
Allowed 10 hits to the Royals, his old team, on June 14th. Today, 11 hits, the most he's allowed in any start this season. Hasn't allowed more than 6 runs in his start. May not be around long enough to do that here today. We'll see.
And like Bob Scanlon was mentioning, the off-speed stuff that the Padres are hitting, just poor location, just kind of rolling up there, taking advantage of it. Big league hitters love the hanging breaking balls that don't do much. The off-speed stuff that's up.
Off the end of the bat, Crawford backhand. Nice start to a potential double play, but not enough time to turn 2. Jankowski out 6-4. Suaje replaces him at first base now, 2 outs, with Yangervis Solarte coming up.
So next half inning, after this next out, hopefully the Padres score another run. I'm going to go pay a visit to Uncle Teddy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, hey, Teddy, look at that line score out there. 11 hits already.
I cannot wait to hear what he says.
See what his reaction is.
You have to report back. Come on over. Now, he'll be courteous about it. I don't want you to think anything else, but he'll correct you. Crawford backing up, and the shortstop makes the catch to end the inning. Padres, though, get another run off Cueto here in the 4th inning, and Luis Perdomo, his 4th triple of the season, becomes the first pitcher to do that since 1955. The Padres a 4-1 lead in the bottom of the fourth inning. 11 hits in the totals for the Padres, not the line score. We sent Mudd over to talk to Uncle Teddy about the difference between the line score and the totals. Was I right?
Yeah, so I go to Teddy. I said, I looked up at line score and I said, how about that 11 hits? And I go, that's it. He goes, no. He goes, that's the line score. That's the other one is the totals. Line score 1 through 9. Yes.
Yes.
Not the line score. Totals. So, no. He goes, here's the. That was perfect. You nailed it. You called.
We did not set that up.
No.
I promise. That actually happened that way. Denard Span takes strike one against Luis Perdomo.
I love Ted.
But now a little lesson on terminology. If you're going to triple as a pitcher, you definitely want to do it leading off the inning. More time to rest and recover in the dugout. Perdomo did exactly that, and now right on top of Span, 0-2.
Yeah, those legs will get a little heavy running like that.
Little hesitation there from Perdomo. It's almost Cueto-esque. We've seen that from him over the course of this year. He'll sort of pause on the one leg and then kind of speed up a little bit, just try and throw off the timing of the hitter.
I like it. And mechanically speaking, if you're going to be quick on the front side, you got to be quick on the back side, and vice versa. If you're going to pause like that, you got to have that arm come out of the glove before you go forward. You can't rush.
It can't be an easy thing to do, to mix it up like that.
It just takes practice.
Yeah.
You get used to doing it, getting that release point out in front. Sometimes your arm could drag a little bit if you're a little bit too quick. Yeah, but if you can master that, my gosh, it's definitely working to your advantage.
Line into left field and a lead single by Denard Span. So the leadoff man aboard for San Francisco in the bottom of the fourth inning, and Buster Posey coming up. Playing first base for the second time in 3 games this series. He caught Matt Cain yesterday. Doubled his first time up, and he has scored the only Giant run.
There's that fastball command that Andy Green was talking about. Bob Scanlon was talking about, the two-seamer way to the righty to bring it back. Also when a lefty's up at the plate. I think Bob made a really good point as far as the home runs given up this year by lefties. Only 5 this year.
Posey had the 3 doubles on Friday night. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. The double in the second inning is 158th hit of the year. That leads the Giants. Runner going. Gale throws from the knees, not in time. Denard Span steals his 12th base of the season. Now in scoring position for Posey.
Looked like a pretty good jump by Span. Yes, it was. High leg kick. And as you mentioned, Jesse, Rocky Gale had to throw from his knees there. Not enough time to get up and throw.
Pretty good throw, all things considered. But like you said, the jump was the thing. And now 2-2 on Posey. '12 National League MVP, putting the Raps on another very good season. The power hasn't been there. We've talked about that this weekend. Just 12 home runs on the season, 10 of them coming in the first half. He will turn 31 at the end of spring training next year. For a catcher, it's kind of a big number. He'll be an interesting guy to track moving forward, there's no doubt. And like, he's still a part of their long-term future, at least their medium-term future. But catchers in their 30s.
Yeah, it's taking its toll. I've always believed if you're a catcher at this level and you're in your 30s, you know, the body ages by the calendar 1 year. But it's, to me, It's like two plus years for each year. It's almost like dog years. You age 7 years in 1 year as a catcher at the big league level if you're in your 30s.
I like that. Catcher years.
Yes, I like it.
And you see the beating that these guys take all season long, and you understand why. Span's going to advance to third base on ball 4 in the wild pitch. First walk of the afternoon issued by Perdomo. Now runners on the corners and nobody out. Brandon Crawford coming up. Luis has the 3-run lead, but now the potential tying run coming to the plate.
And the ideal situation here would be the punch out to keep the double play in order. Got the slow runner at first base and Buster Posey. So, hey, work early for a grounder, keep the ball in the infield, pop him up, whatever. If you get 2, Giants probably get a run, but still, you get 2 for 1.
That's the deal, and Perdomo would certainly take it. Crawford has grounded into more double plays than any other Giant, and Perdomo has gotten the second most double plays of any pitcher in the National League. So the scene is set.
Yes.
His teammate, Clayton Richard, the only National League pitcher who's gotten more ground ball double plays this year. Crawford lined to right his first time now, just 2 for 13 against Perdomo in his career. All on a strike.
Nice backdoor breaking ball there. That's another thing I think when we talk about Luis's progression, and I mentioned it in our open, breaking balls for strikes behind in the count, just like Jolie's Chassin.
That one is fair down the left field line. It'll get Span home easily. Posey's on his way to third base. Jabari just now getting to the ball and left. Nevin will hold Posey at third base, but a double. Crawford drives one in. 2-run game, still 2 on, and still nobody out.
Well, Crawford just drops the head here, hits straight down on that ball, and spanks it to left side. He tried to pull that ball, Jesse, and it's probably a double play ball. But he hit that ball hard exactly where it was pitched. That's how you stay out of the double play.
Just the 3rd hit of the day for the Giants. Padres have 11. But a 2-run game now. And Pablo Sandoval at the plate to face Perdomo. The switch hitter goes after the first pitch and lines it out of play. 0-1. RBI ground out that first time up. How about Sandoval now? 15 runs batted in his last 18 games. Trying to finish strong. And it's hit in each of the first 2 games of this series. Popped him up. Solarte trying to line it up at first base against the high sky. He makes the catch, and that is out number 1.
Boy, he likes to hack, man. That pitch was up. It was in. If taken, probably a ball. 2 runners out there, though. He's got a little froggy on that one. Yeah, you know, after looking at it, that's not a bad pitch, actually. After a second look, about a baseball above the belt buckle.
Quite a follow through.
Yeah.
Second and third, 1 out for Parker, who struck out looking his first time. 95 from Luis. Good sliding stop by Rocky Gale. 2 balls and no strikes with first base open. Perhaps they're seeing if Parker will go fishing.
Throwing some chum out there. Hoping the fish will bite.
You do any fishing this year?
Did we go fishing this year? Or was that last year?
Last year.
Yeah, I got seasick.
You're not invited anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going. No invite needed. I caught the only fish, though.
You did. And then you fell ill for 4 hours. Ground ball foul. 2-1. As a pitcher, when you were playing, How long did you sort of use to rest and recover at the end of the season, kind of before you kick things back up?
I took about a month off, and then I got right back in my workout routine. Went down to the ballpark, old Jack Murphy Stadium, got in a conditioning program, did a lot of running, some long toss.
Bed Bath & Beyond if there's time.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes from Perdomo to Parker. Nick Hundley given the very prestigious in these parts Willie Mack Award on Friday night before the game.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Very nice. Just missing with the slider. And now full count, 3-2. There he is.
Affectionately known as Stretch, number 44, Willie McCovey, Hall of Famer.
He's got a cove and everything. That is going to get through for a base hit. From third comes Posey. Crawford will be held against Renfro's arm. And an RBI single for Jared Parker has made this a 1-run game in the 4th.
Another grounder, found a hole. Nothing you can do about it as a pitcher that rolls a lot of grounders. The target is inside. That ball leaks. That ball leaks big time. That's another thing that Andy Green was talking about before the game. Staying in a certain lane. He wanted that one to be in the lane in off the plate or just catching the inside part. It did not. Allowing Parker to pull that baseball into the hole.
So runners on the corners, 1 out for Hundley. Hit a ground ball to shortstop his first time. Ibar misplayed it. He is certainly a double play candidate. Talking about all the ground balls that both Perdomo and Clayton Richard get. Richard, of course, coming back on the new contract with the Padres, and he's been a big, leadership by example kind of guy on the field, between starts, in the clubhouse. We all talk about that a lot. How about yesterday before the game? Keep in mind, Clayton Richard's season is over. He is not going to throw again. Yesterday before the game, he was out in the outfield, not only running, he threw a side session yesterday.
Hey, until the season's over, right? I'm going to go through the same routine. Why not?
He's not going to pitch again. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know that you'd be able to count on one hand the number of guys around baseball doing that this weekend who aren't going to throw again. Ground ball, third base. Coming on in is Spangenberg. That's 1. Can they get 2? No. And the game is tied.
Even though Nick Hundley doesn't run all that well, when you look at this play hit to Spangenberg, he's got to come in. Does a good throw get him? It really wasn't the hardest throw to second base. I think he would have beaten it out anyway, huh?
Yeah, and the ball was hit slowly to Spangenberg as well. Now Johnny Cueto's going to hit for himself. Struck out swinging his first time. Giants have gotten 3 here in the 4th inning. He kind of steps up to that one and hits it to Cordoba, who took his time, shouldn't have. Ooh, close play, but they got him to end the inning. Cordoba took for granted that Cueto was not going to be running, and Johnny was busting it up the line. 4th inning comes to a close, but the Giants have tied it up 4-4 as we go to the 5th. Thank you, Mike. Mark, very much. And yeah, this year, the division with 3 postseason teams is this one, the National League West.
Yeah, I remember Mark Sweeney and I had an inside corner, and this was months ago, maybe 3 months ago. Might have been right after the All-Star break, and he called it. 3 teams from the NL West. That is going to be one heck of a wild card game.
Renfro leading off here against Johnny Cueto. He homered against him in his last at bat, just skied one to left field. Home run number 26 for Hunter Renfro here in his rookie season. Now 2 balls and a strike. And of course 2 of those teams will go head to head on Wednesday. Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Those are the final standings in the West. Just need a little more wind. Not going to change today. Giants, though, do have a chance to have the #1 overall pick in the draft. Depending on how today goes, it's between San Francisco and Detroit. Very nice.
It never gets old seeing the Gwin 19 jerseys all around the league.
Another hard hit ball, and Denard Span not going to get to that one. Hunter Renfro with his 2nd hit of the day, and now a dozen for the Padres against Cueto this afternoon. Wild card game at Chase Field in Phoenix. Coming up on Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific time. John Gray and Zach Greinke lined up in a winner-take-all opportunity to face the Dodgers in the division series.
I made a prediction about 3 weeks ago, and I'm sticking with it. I'm calling an upset. John Gray is going to beat the Diamondbacks. He's got good numbers against the Diamondbacks. He's pitched well at Chase Field at Copper Square in the desert. It's just a feeling, and it's more than a feeling. What do you got?
I like Arizona. I like Arizona against the Dodgers as well. I like that matchup for the D-backs. But I do think that that wild card game is so treacherous. You know, Greinke has one, bad inning.
Sure.
That's it. It's game over. And he doesn't have a lot of bad innings, obviously. He's had another great year and a very nice bounce back from last season. But that one game, anything can happen. I mean, it's the cliche, but it's true. Ball and 2 strikes to Spangenberg. He's got Renfro on first here. Nobody out in the 5th inning. I think there are probably some fans who think about the fact that the Dodgers, the D-backs, and the Rockies are all in the postseason, and they see that as discouraging. Hey, this division's tough. It's going to be harder for the Padres to kind of build into a contender. I don't necessarily see it that way. I think these things change year to year a bit more than we think they do. And you look at the Central and the Cubs and the Brewers. You never expected the Brewers to be in the whole mix of it right now. And, I think it's very easy right now to just sit there and say, yeah, the Dodgers are a behemoth and they've got all this money, but now the Rockies are good and now the Diamondbacks are good. I just don't think that it's that straightforward that, okay, we know in 2 years or in 3 years that it's going to be the exact same kind of thing. I think it changes a lot year to year.
I think it does too. And parity is good in this game of baseball. And to hit on it, was it yesterday, right? The Red Sox clinched, right?
Yeah.
It's only the 2nd time in franchise history that they've won the East back-to-back, right? So that goes to show you. So from the Padres standpoint, the way they're building and stuff, they get the talent to come up to the big leagues, and whether it's 2, 3, whatever, how many years, yeah, that could swing the other way too.
No question. And some of that talent on display yesterday at Petco in that Futures game, or the Padres on deck game.
Had a nice conversation with A.J. Preller before the game, you and I.
I was just going to say, we saw A.J. down in the clubhouse, and I mean, he was beaming.
Yes,
he really was. Flash takes low and outside. 3-0 from Cueto.
I saw some video of Fernando Tatis Jr. playing shortstop, and can you say smooth?
Very.
Can you say athletic?
Very.
Yeah.
Flash on 3-0, pops it up. Crawford and Panic both there. Second baseman Panic makes the call, now makes the catch. That's out number 2.
MLB.com at Bat is your #1 mobile app for live Padres baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Padres home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today.
Cueto gave up the lead single to Renfro. He's gotten Spangenberg and Blash. Now it's the number 8 hitter, Rocky Gale. Padres with a dozen hits against Cueto today. Tatis, by the way, you know, I think a lot of people around baseball and those who pay attention to prospects for a living, they said, you know, you could eventually see him move over to third base. AJ's been saying this week that they really believe he can be a shortstop. You know, they think he's got the athleticism and the ranginess to do that.
Good feet, good hands, good arm.
Oh, busts his bat, and Sandoval going to try and make the play at third base. He does to end the inning. Padres get the lead single, but Renfro is stranded middle of the 5th in San Francisco.
Diving is short as Córdoba picks himself up and throws out Rivera. Alan Córdoba, you gotta be kidding me. What a play by Córdoba. Lays it out, gets up, and throws out Rivera. Nicely done, Alan Córdoba.
One of our plays of the year, the 21-year-old Rule 5 pick from Panama, Alan Córdoba. He's played shortstop, he's played the outfield, he's hit a couple of home runs. And the Padres this season, Mark Grant, carry not 1, not 2, but 3 Rule 5 players throughout the entire regular season.
It's incredible. And to describe that Rule 5 in a nutshell, you're drafted from a team in the Rule 5 draft. That player has to stay at the big league level with that club the whole year, or if you want to send him down, he's got to be offered back to the club he came from, right?
That's exactly right.
So to spend the whole year, 3 players played in A-ball last year. And for this team to hopefully end the season with 72 victories, that is really saying something.
Perdomo last year, Rule 5 pick from the Cardinals. He stuck. And by the end of last season, he was arguably the best starting pitcher on the Padres staff. This year, Córdoba, the catcher Luis Torrens, and the right-hander Miguel Diaz. And you see legit promise, I think, from all of those guys.
And let's not forget this as well. These kids are young, right? They're going to mature. They're going to fill out. They're going to get bigger.
2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff man, Hunter Pence. That's a ground ball to Corey Spangenberg. That's out number 1 for Perdomo in the 5th inning. Let's go downstairs, check in with Bob Scanlon. Scans.
You know, guys, it is amazing that the Padres had the 3 Rule 5 players all season long, but the one that was so stunning to me was that they kept the catcher Luis Torrens, and to his credit, he got better as this season went on, not getting a whole lot of playing time. And a lot of that credit goes to Justin Hatcher, who worked with him every single day. He brought Torrens down to the bullpen. They worked on drills. They improved this young man's ability to call a game, to block, to handle himself back there. I thought that was one of the really impressive feel-good stories of the season.
I'm with you, and there's so much hidden stuff that goes on, Bob. You know, I mean, that we'll never see because it doesn't take place on the field between 7:10 at night and 10:10 at night. It really does matter for the long-term development of this team. That's a good example of it. A guy like Luis Torrens doing extra work with the bullpen catcher and just trying to get better. And they really do like his defense, Luis Torrens.
Yeah, chalk talks, skull sessions, right? Sitting down with the coaches, thinking about things,
Joe Panik 0 for 2, drops this one into center field, and that's his first hit of the day. 1-out single for the Giants in the bottom of the 5th inning. And when you're talking about Torrens, look, I don't know where he begins next year. It might be in the big leagues, it might not be, but let's say he does end up, catching in the minor leagues. Padres have all these big-time pitching prospects coming up, and he's going to get an opportunity to work with them. And he'll bring the knowledge that he gained here, working with Austin Hedges, working with the big league coaching staff, down to the minor leagues for these young up-and-coming pitchers. That could be a really big advantage.
Huge. And in this day and age, Jesse, with players being able to keep in touch with coaches, it's not like the old days. I mean, you're a text away from texting Justin Hatcher and say, hey, remember that one discussion we had regarding this, and bang. I mean, back in the old days, and I can say that now, there was never communication like that between the big league pitching coach or the catching coach down to the A-ball kid, or it just didn't happen.
You had to post a letter.
Yeah, you had to lick a stamp, put it on it. Pony Express would come by, put it in the satchel, and it'd get there 4 days later.
Mail. Two and 0 to Denard Span. Runner on first, 1 away. Bottom of the 5th inning, game 162. Popped out of play, 2-1. Perdomo now 75 pitches on the afternoon. It has not been his most efficient day. Giants got 3 runs last inning, but it was kind of more the same for Luis. And an error on the infield. Seeing eye ground balls, missed opportunities on double plays. Kind of like his year in a nutshell. And now 3-1 to Span. On 3-1, Panik goes, and a ground ball off the mound right to Cordoba. That'll be a double play. Ho-ho! Some bad bounces and bad breaks earlier in the afternoon. This one works out perfectly. Inning-ending double play. Harrah's game summary. Eric Ibar, RBI double in the first inning against Johnny Cueto, just the second batter of the game, got the scoring started. And then Hunter Renfro with his 26th home run in the 3rd inning gave the Padres a 3-0 lead. How about some history? Luis Perdomo triples down the left field line, becomes the first pitcher with 4 triples in one season since 1955. Padres had the lead, but the Giants came back. Brandon Crawford, a run-scoring hit, and then Jarrett Parker with an RBI single in the 4th inning. That tied the game, and we are still tied here in the top of the 6th. Perdomo still in there. Johnny Cueto, who started for the Giants, is done for the day. You see the lefty Ty Block out on the mound. 0-1 to Luis, and now 1 ball and 1 strike. Block, the left-hander, gets the soft landing here, an opportunity to face the opposing pitcher, even if he did triple his last time up. And now a ball and 2 strikes. Pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
Enter Ty Block, the left-hander. 24 games started this year. This is 34th game overall. 4-seam change, curveball. And mix in a slider. He's pitched just once in the last 17 days. 3 scoreless innings back on September 24th.
Been a bit. And Perdomo battling him here, still 1-2.
Luis is trying to smell that 5th triple.
I don't have, by the way, the last time a pitcher had 5 triples. I've been sitting on Robin Roberts for 2 months. Strike 3 called. So Perdomo goes down looking, 1 away in the top of the 6th. Jankowski and Cordoba to follow here against Ty Block. Hey, if you're the Padre offense, you got to like 12 hits against Johnny Cueto in 5 innings in his last start of the year. Breaking ball, strike.
Travis seeing the ball extremely well this afternoon.
As you said. Three hits in 5 innings for Jankowski. And now grounder back to Block. Low throw and handled by the new first baseman Pablo Sandoval. Welcome to the deeper coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. Rockies clinch that wild card game. As we said, they'll face Arizona at Chase Field on Wednesday to the postseason for the first time since 2009. And the Dodgers now, if they get to the World Series, will have home field advantage in every postseason series in which they appear. Alan Cordoba at the plate for the first time today. Came in defensively back in the 4th inning for Eric Ibar.
You going to go to any postseason games?
In person?
Yeah.
No.
When was the last time you did that?
2 years ago.
Very nice.
First time I'd ever been to a major league postseason game.
As a fan? As
a fan. Dodgers Mets division series. I figured I'd never been to a playoff game before. I wanted to experience it, so I went up to LA.
Did you have a hot dog, a social sparkler?
All of that.
Nice.
It was great.
Just soaking it all in.
Watch the Dodgers bounced out of the first round of the playoffs. No balls and 2 strikes and in the dirt to Cordoba. What about you?
Wow, the last postseason game that I ever went to was one, you know, it was at Qualcomm Stadium, Padres Braves.
Been a while. Hunter Pence comes in, he calls off panic, he makes the catch, and a 1-2-3 6th for Ty Block. Padres baseball brought to you by Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. And by Father Joe's Villages. Call 1-800-HOMELESS or visit neighbor.org to make a tax-deductible donation of cash, cars, or furniture. The Golden Gate. And Ryder Jones taking strike one from Luis Perdomo. This is a 4-4 game in the bottom of the 6th inning. Luis through 5 has allowed the 4 runs on just 5 hits. And Jones skies this one out to right center field. Jankowski tracking it down and on the track. Travis makes the catch. 1 away. Looking forward to the postseason, though, I'm sure you are.
I am. I'm going to be hunkered down. I'll be watching some big league baseball. The feet up on the ottoman. First I'll feed the goats, then turn in to the TV. And
what time do the goats feed out
usually
at
around
Alpine?
sundown.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not at the beginning of the day. They eat at the end of the
throw
day.
them a bale of hay or a chip of hay, whatever they call it. Sliver. What do they call it? Little things of hay.
You're the one that lives on a farm. I don't know. I'm a city dweller.
Bale of hay.
Bale of hay.
Just
yeah.
go at it.
You have a tractor?
I do. Hasn't worked in about 15 years.
Just looks cool.
Rusting and yeah, collecting.
I'm sure the neighbors love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Brandon Crawford knocked in a run, scored a run in the 3-run 4th. And now a ball and 2 strikes from Perdomo.
You know, Jesse, there's something about this postseason that's really special this year. I mean, the teams that are involved and a lot going into it.
I think there's some really good matchups,
Yeah.
both sides. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And beginning really with obviously that very familiar wild card game for Padre fans with Arizona and Colorado going at it on Wednesday. On 2-2, Crawford grounds one up the middle for a base hit, his second of the day. Postseason gets underway with that AL wildcard game on Tuesday. Yankees or the Twins, thank you, will go to Cleveland. Astros, Red Sox, I mean, those are 2 heavyweights
right
in the other American League Division Series. And on the National League side, as we said, it'll be a West-West NLDS. And then the Cubs and the Nationals. Washington still trying to get out of that first round, and they're going to have to go through the defending World Series champions. And then the World Series on Fox. Sandoval from the left side. 0 for 3 today with an RBI ground out.
And I've got to stick to my guns. I made a prediction. I know we all make predictions, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I've got the Nationals and the Astros in the World Series.
Nastros.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. For why? It just appeals to me.
2 very good teams. I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to go wrong, right? I mean, no offense to the Twins, but you include any team but the Twins, and you'd say, yeah, that makes sense. But they're a great story in their own right. First team ever to lose 100 games one year, make it to the postseason the next.
And Cleveland seems to be an easy choice, too. It's easy to say, oh, the Cleveland Indians are going to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
Right?
But Houston's very good. Red Sox are very good.
And that's my point. At this point in time, with the way the teams are playing, you know, some team gets hot or whatever, who knows what's going to happen.
That's kind of the beauty and the chaos of the playoffs. You get into a best-of-1 situation in those wild card games and best-of-5 in the division series. Sandoval lines that one deep down the left field line. It's foul. Another big part of the postseason, of course, it's award season. And these are the Mudleys.
Yeah, I like the NL MVP, Paul Goldschmidt. You know, he hits for average power, and I know that there are other candidates for that. But, you know, I like the stolen base that Paul Goldschmidt can get for you for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jose Altuve. You know, Aaron Judge is having one heck of a year with the home runs. But, you know, the 200 hits, the consistent year, all year long for Altuve. I think that's what sticks out for me.
Sandoval again in the air left side, and Blash want to give it a look. Slides. Did not make the catch. Great effort by Jabari. Had a long way to go. Running out of room. You know, I saw a note on Altuve, and it was like a week ago, so I'm sorry if I get it wrong, but I think it was this. He's got the 200 hits back-to-back seasons. Pete Rose never did that.
It's unbelievable.
4 in a row? Is it 4? Was it 4? Is that what it was?
I think it was.
Or something like that. Whatever he's done with 200 hits.
4 consecutive seasons with over 200 hits.
Pete Rose had never done.
Never. That's amazing.
Guy with more hits than anybody else. Runner going, and again in the air the other way. This time deeper, but more foul.
Then I had Kershaw, NL Cy Young, Kluber, AL Cy Young. And you know, my Padre MVP, I could have went pitching with Brad Hand. I like Manuel Margot.
Okay.
The leadoff position, center field. You know what he brings to the team, his energy. I'm just a huge fan.
Another foul ball. Jose Perella certainly should be in that conversation, I'd say. What do the winners get, by the way, of the Mudley Awards?
They get a good old pat on the back. Yep.
So no hardware.
No.
What does Don get for winning Pick the Stick?
He gets the gnome.
I know. Now, have you had it as the defending champion at your house, or does it stay at Fox Sports San Diego during the season?
No, you get to take it home.
So you've had it this whole time, and you have to be
responsible. No, last year's winner
for
was
giving
not
it to
me.
him.
Last year's winner was, I think it was Pomeranz.
Oh, you know, you always talk about it like you had just won.
I'd won 2 years in a row.
Previously, that's kind of a long time ago now, though. My apologies to Mike Pomeranz. On the ground, maybe another double play. Cordoba the flip, and Asuaje turns it. Long battle between Perdomo and Pablo Sandoval, but they get the 6-4-3 twin killing, and we go to the 7th.
Myers sends one out towards left center field. That's going to get down. It's going to roll towards the track of the wall. Myers is headed for second base. He is thinking 3. He could get the cycle. He will get the cycle. Standing at third base. The second cycle in the history of the San Diego Padres.
Will Myers, little Padre history back in April at Coors Field. Matt Kemp did it a couple of years ago, and Will got it done this season. Finally. It's like not a thing anymore.
Exactly. And that was fun, and that was the perfect ballpark to do it. You and I witnessed one a few years back.
We did. Same place. Matt Kemp and Will Myers both coming up with the triple at the end of the night to complete the cycle. Asuaje takes a looping curveball high from Ty Block. Second inning of relief for the left-hander after Cueto went 5. He allowed 4 runs on 12 hits. Perdomo has gone 6 for the Padres. Trying to finish on a high note, as I guess all these guys are. Longest start of the season for Perdomo is 7. And on the outside corner, 2-1. Perdomo's thrown 91 pitches. Nobody throwing in the Padre bullpen, so you'd think he will get the opportunity to try and go out there and match that season high with 7 innings pitched.
Oh, I think I just saw Dr. Emmett Brown in the DeLorean out of McCovey Cove.
His flux capacitor is way out of whack in the water. There it is. I don't think he's going to get the speed.
Yeah.
88 point whatever. Not going to happen out there. Suaje in the air, foul, and out of play.
Was it 80 miles an hour? 88?
88 point something, I think.
Well,
right?
it was 1.21 gigawatts.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
But I'm trying to find out what.
88. It was just an even 88.
88 miles an hour?
Yeah.
And then lightning struck the clock tower. And then he was back to the future.
Leadoff walk. And Suaje aboard. That is the first walk issued by Giant pitchers here this afternoon.
Well, we want to give a shout out to a dear friend of all of ours with the Padres and Fox Sports San Diego, Chiron Bob Wiersdorfer. He usually works in the truck. All the graphics you see on the screen, that's responsibility of Chiron Bob. Works very, very hard. He's been around a long, long time. He's battling lymphoma right now, and we want to give him our best. We missed you, CB, as he is affectionately known as, Chiron Bob. Get well soon, and we will see you in Peoria in the spring.
Very nicely said, and it was great to see Bob at the ballpark on the last homestand. He came by to say hi to everybody, and obviously we're thinking about him pretty much every day right now.
He and his bride Paulette in good spirits, seeing everybody in the TV family.
Solarte out in front of the curveball, 0-2. See how we were talking about this earlier. Normally, you know, I'm in the radio booth with Ted, and Don is here with you, and I think the thing that fascinates me most about television, and I don't think that most fans or viewers realize this, the sheer number of people that it takes to put this thing together. Back in San Diego, in the truck here, the production truck at AT&T Park, even in our booth. You know, I mean, it's incredible how many people get involved to make this happen and how hard they work, and it's a long season for all of them. And just as somebody who kind of pops in every once in a while to fill in, great appreciation for the efforts of all of those people. Really incredible.
It is. It's a finely tuned machine to have it all work. You know, sure, there are little glitches here and there, but you adjust and you go on. You try to make the most of it. And it's a great crew up here in San Francisco. Love coming up here to the Bay Area. Our stage manager, Shar, best on the road, that is, because Sheila works in San Diego and in Arizona. Sheila Simpson. Shar is our stage manager up here.
She makes sure you look good.
Yeah, and if you're an NBA fan, you'll see her on the sidelines at the Golden State games. Yeah, there's Shar. Shar, wave. How you doing? Good? Good.
You set her up there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, it really is. It's an incredible thing to watch it happen. And a big thank you to all of those folks here, there, and everywhere. Solarte battling here. Padres and Giants tied up on the final day of the season. Padres trying to win all 6 series from the Giants this year. They have never done that before. Giants have not won a series from the Padres since last May. Hard hit to Crawford. And that will be a double play. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. So the first walk of the day issued by San Francisco pitching is followed up by that. And now Hunter Renfro coming up. He has already provided a big time highlight here this afternoon. Back in the 3rd inning. What's a moonshot during the day? Is it a sunshot?
I agree with you. I think it is. It's high, it's far, it's gone. And you know, after watching Hunter Renfro, we know that he could wear out right center field when things are going well. We know he can pull the baseball with some authority.
Hits that one hard out towards right center field, and on the run, Pence dives, and I think he made the catch. He did. Boy, we've seen him zigzag in the outfield all weekend long. He's missed a couple, but that time he comes out with an outstanding catch to end the inning. Pence gets to his feet in what might be the final moment of his 2017 season. Stretch time in San Francisco. Padres and Giants all tied up. The Giants tied 4-4. We have stretched for the final time in 2017. 7th inning stretch presented by your San Diego Hyundai dealers. Tie game, bottom of the 7th. And yeah, we will not have another 7th inning stretch, you and I, until we're Peoria Stadium sometime in late February, early March. We haven't seen the schedule yet, I don't believe, for spring training, but it's a little sad.
It is a little sad, huh? Melancholy, if you will. I mentioned it last homestand. It's almost like, you know, summer camp is coming to an end. You got to load back up into the family truckster and head home and
the wagon.
Yeah.
Load up the wagon.
Yeah.
I liked what Mike Pomerantz said during the pregame show. I thought it was exactly right. You know, he says sometimes, you know, season kind of can grind a little bit, but the ending is so abrupt. And it really is, because you're in your flow, you're in your rhythm, whether it's as a fan or a player, a broadcaster, and then, okay, yeah, it's a beautiful Sunday day game, and then, oh no, it's done. It's over just like that.
You know what? It's weird after the last out, after the end of the season, you get on that bus, especially when you're on the road, obviously. You get on that bus, you get on that plane, it's like, you know, this is it. Everybody's going to go their separate ways.
Perdomo out there trying to complete 7 innings for just the 2nd time this season. It would match the season high. And he's got the bottom third of the batting order here in the 7th. Did it on May 31st against the Cubs. And he delivers strike 1 to Jared Parker. That was that Memorial Day series. Padres swept the defending World Series champions at Petco. Quickly, 0-2. Parker 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a strikeout. Luis has only K'd 2 guys today, but he has gotten 2 ground ball double plays, and that ties him with Clayton Richard for the National League lead. 32 ground ball double plays this season.
It's more than one a start, this being his 29th.
That is some fine arithmetic. And strike 3 for his 3rd strikeout of the day.
Sharp as a bowling ball.
Shaped like one too.
Oh, hey now. And here's the two-seamer in. That's exactly what Andy Green, Bob Scanlon was talking about. Location of the fastball to the left-handers in, tying them up, and add some movement to it for the punchy.
Now the number 8 hitter, Nick Hundley. Goes after the first pitch, and he fouls it out of play. 0-1. RBI ground out his last time. He's also reached on an error. Going into free agency, the Giants would love to have Nick Hundley back. They've talked a lot here about how much he's improved his defense this season. Not easy for a guy at that position at this stage in his career to increase his value, but he really seems to have done just that here in 2017.
There's a former catcher who can appreciate what Nick Hundley brings to the table. Bruce Bochy. Bruce Bochy had a glove, and it really ticked me off. And I'll tell you why. Usually when you're pitching, you like to hear that snap of the ball hitting the leather, right? Even if you're throwing 90, it makes you feel like you're throwing 100, right? Because
you're hearing it. Yeah,
you're hearing it. Boch, his glove was like a pillow. You could rear back, and if you threw 95, it was just like no snap, no nothing. It's like, Boch, you got to get a different guante, man. Well, I had this for my whole career. Big target behind the plate, though.
Tell you what. Reaching for it, lining it into left center field. Nick Hundley, a base hit. 1 out single. And now the pinch hitter for Ty Block will be Orlando Calixte.
Is it a breaking ball? No, it's a two-seamer. Tries to bring it back at 93. You know what? It's a good pitch, but elevated, huh? Kind of mid-thigh high.
Kyle McGrath, the left-hander, warming up. Perdomo at exactly 100 pitches now. Seeing Calixte in all 3 games of this series. Pinch hit in the 7th yesterday, dropped down a sacrifice bunt. And on Friday night, he came in to play right field in the 8th, grounded out in his only AB. He is 0 for his last 12 at the plate. Calixte had a little bit of big league action with Kansas City 2 years ago. Last year, AA and AAA with the Royals. Now back in the bigs with the Giants here in the final month and now day of the season. On 1-1, he grounds it to the left side. Cordoba down to a knee, had a little trouble getting it out, and that may have cost them a chance at another double play. But they do cut down Hundley at second base. That's out number 2. And now Calixte at first with Hunter Pence coming up.
Last one of the year here, Jesse. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Gorkys Hernandez will hit for Pence. Probably not a surprise after Pence was slow to get up, making that diving catch at the end of the top of the inning. Popped up in his only at bat of the series. That was on Friday night. Dealing with a sprained left wrist here at the end of the season. And he takes inside 1-0. Gone an entire season without hitting a home run. His last homer was against the Padres last September. Ball and a strike here in a tie game in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I've always said that coming off the bench in any situation at the big league level is tough. But when you've got a guy like Perdomo throw 95 with that two-seamer barreling in on the fists, that makes it even tougher. So heads up on the left side, Spangenberg, Cordoba. with that two-seamer into Hernandez.
Calixte stole 19 bases in AAA this year. Probably a good idea to keep at least a half an eye on him. Luis trying to make it through 7 innings for the second time this season. Calixte goes, but it's fouled off at the plate.
You fouled that one off the foot or the shin?
Doesn't matter.
I see your right shin.
I'm good.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, you lucked out. We don't have our booth camera anymore.
That's a shame.
We could use the center field.
You get Orsillo to FaceTime in, and he can do it to himself. Do we have video conferencing capabilities on the show? Runner goes again, and Gale's throw down to second base is not in time. Orlando Calixte steals one of the big leagues. Now in scoring position here in the 7th.
Well, I think Rocky Gale could do all he could do on that one. It really wasn't the best jump. There's the flash look. And he's in safely in scoring position.
Pitch was called a ball, so 2-2 to the pinch hitter Gorkys Hernandez. And he got him. Luis Perdomo gets his 4th strikeout of the day, and for the second time this season he makes it through 7 innings. Padres, the Giants are tied 4-4. We go to the 8th. Mike, Mark, thank you both. That's really cool in Kansas City.
Yes.
And
well done.
It's the end of an era there. There's no question about it. that core group of guys, so many of them going into free agency, and well handled by the Royals. It's that traditional final series of the year between the Diamondbacks and the Royals. Corey Spangenberg against the new pitcher, lefty Steven Okert. Okert has faced one batter in this series. It was Spangenberg. It was last night.
We saw Okert for a third of an inning yesterday in game 161. Lefty on lefty here.
And he strikes him out. Time now for the Bill Howe play of the game. And anytime you see something that has not happened since 1955, that's a pretty good lock for your play of the game. It was Luis Perdomo's 5th triple of the season. No pitcher had gotten to that point since Robin Roberts did it in 1955. Congratulations to Luis. 5 triples on the year and a very solid 7 innings here this afternoon. Steven Okert faced one guy yesterday. He faces one guy here today, and he is out of this game. Pitching change for the Giants in the 8th. Pitching change for the Giants in the top of the 8th inning with 1 out. Padres and Giants are tied 4-4. And after the lefty Okert struck out Corey Spangenberg, the right-hander Corey Guerin comes out for a 2nd consecutive game.
2/3 of an inning yesterday, 2 strikeouts, and a long time in between pitches. This guy takes a long time. Pretty much going to get sinker, slider at 93 for the right-hander, entering his 68th game. Pretty good numbers. Heavy sinker.
Lash and Gale, the next 2 scheduled hitters, with 1 away. Barry obviously the kind of guy that can change the score with 1 swing. Misses there, 0-1. A lot of pitchers who take a lot of time between pitches, they do the thing, they'll walk around the mound. They've got a lot going on. Guerin is different in that the time that he takes is mostly spent once he gets on the rubber.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Long set. When he gets the sign and comes set there, it's a long time. I think that's advantage pitcher because hitters get anxious. I think that works to his advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the 2 ERA this year and you say, hey, it's working for him. Doesn't mean it is good. Hundley says, okay, here's your pitch. Now he starts thinking to himself. Oh, a little quicker that time.
Yeah, it was.
I guess that's part of the deal, too, is as a hitter, you're never quite going to know when he's going to sling it your way.
Two-seamer, sinker.
I bet you worked pretty quickly.
I did. I wanted to.
Yeah.
My philosophy was if I was going to do well, if I was going to do poorly, I wanted to get done quickly. Seriously, I say that with all, yeah.
Lose fast.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that ball, get up on the mound, and go to work. I didn't want my defense to hate me. I wanted them to be sharp. I played with a guy by the name of Dennis Rasmussen, big, tall left-hander.
Sure.
And he took a lot of time. Ran a lot of deep counts too. Our pitching coach at the time, Pat Dobson, God rest his soul, he dubbed him Count Full Count.
Not necessarily the nickname you want as a pitcher.
It was always 3 and 2. 3 and 2.
Now the 2-2 pitch, and it will be 3-2. Guerin struck out both guys that he saw in yesterday's game. G-E-A-R-R-I-N, but pronounced Guerin. Been great. ERA 0.75 in his last 14 outings. Hard hit in the air right field. Corky's Hernandez backing up. 2 away. And Bruce Bochy heading back out to the mound. Got another right-handed hitter coming up in Rocky Gale. Oker got out number 1. Guerin got out number 2. And now pitcher number 3 in the 8th. We see Hunter Strickland in the 8th inning. Bruce Bochy using 3 pitchers to get 3 outs. And the number 8 batter Rocky Gale coming up. He's 0 for 3.
Hard throwing right-hander Hunter Strickland. Upper 90s, 98, 99-ish. 4-seam, 2-seam. And a very hard slider.
There it is. 97 on the fastball, 1-0. Rocky got his first major league home run on the last homestand. Number 2 right here would be pretty dramatic. Can't connect at 95. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Giant fans really hoping that that guy does not get to come to the plate here in the 8th inning. Hector Sanchez has had an unbelievable year against his old team. A lot of big hits.
And you know what? It's a matchup if it gets to that. Strickland's fastball is kind of straight.
Ball could get wet.
And Hector likes that very much.
He's already hit, I think, more home runs here as a visitor than he did in his time as a Giant. Big ones, too.
Ball and 2 strikes on Gale, and the Sanchez confrontation will have to wait at least 1 inning. A 1-2-3, 3-pitcher 8th for the Giants.
Development of culture was a plus. Individual skill development probably didn't take as many strides forward as I'd like to see, and that's on us as a coaching staff to continue to get better in that area. I think there's some things that we're excited about, some things where some guys really did take steps forward, but overall, and maybe that's just my nature, you're always looking at the things that didn't get done as the need to be done, and so I think we just continue to push in those areas, and I think if you keep with a consistent theme of continuous improvement, at some point in time, it connects with guys and they start taking those steps.
I think in that cut right there, Mark Grant, you get a very good sense of who Andy Green is and sort of his personality and his expectations. Not a lot of moral victories in his world.
I totally agree. You just touched a couple of spots. When people say, oh, it was a moral victory. No, it's a zero-sum game, right? You win, you lose. 1-0, 21-0. And I like the word he used when he says culture, right? Developing a culture. I remember coming up as a Giant in the minor leagues, and you were taught to hate the Dodgers. It was just in the blood. You're a Giant, you hate the Dodgers. But the Dodgers always had the Dodger way. That was something that they taught from the 50s, 60s, 70s. The Orioles had the same thing, the Oriole way. I think that's something that's special that the Padres are trying to do, playing the Padre way, and that's developing a culture from top to bottom, not just the big league level. The guys in short season rookie ball, the guys in A ball, throughout.
There's no question that's taking place in this Padre organization now. You and I saw A.J. Preller earlier today. He seemed very happy with the way that on-deck game went at Petco yesterday. Kind of the end of instructional league for some of the very young Padre prospects. And the lessons those guys are learning, as you said, top to bottom in the organization. Sam Gainey, the farm director, there's a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of thought going into how the young guys are going to be brought along. And you hope it pays big dividends at the major league level.
And Andy Green would be the first one to say, you know what, it might take a while, but you know what? At least they're coming to the park every day, learning that culture and trying to apply it each and every day at the ballpark.
A couple of baseball junkies right there.
Yeah, happy birthday once again to Major League McGuire.
Joe Panic caught. Suaje goes up, makes the play, and a good little battle there between the new pitcher Kyle McGrath and the Giants second baseman. Some bright spots this year. Jose Perella very, very nice season at the plate. Manuel Margot, of course, kind of bursting onto the scene. Myers, Lamet, Hand, and there are definitely things to be excited about, not just, you know, at the minor league levels,
sure,
but here as well.
Brad Hand, the All-Star, the only representative this year for the Padres, well deserved too. Dinelson Lamet, we saw him just deal. What, opponents hitting what, just around 200 off of Dinelson Lamet after all was said and done. Yeah, 210. Perella not starting the year with the Padres, right?
48 games in El Paso. And he raked, by the way.
Yes, he did.
There. McGrath brought in to face these left-handed hitters. He gets panicked. Now he's ahead of Span. Pardon me, 1-1 to Span. Left-handed hitting Ryder Jones on deck. Something's got to give at some point this afternoon. Rubber match of the series. Padres also looking to beat the Giants for the 100th time since Bruce Bochy took over in San Francisco. Only the Dodgers have done that. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, since Bochy took over as the Giant manager, Padres are 99 and 103 against San Francisco. Dodgers 100 and 103. Three balls and a strike to Denard Span. He's been a pest all weekend, and that is ball 4. 1-out walk issued by Kyle McGrath, and we revisit our keys to the game brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, the first key was early lead hold it. That did not happen. Padres led 3-1 after the 3rd. Giants tied it up 4-4 after the 4th. Go home happy. See you in Peoria. We are tied in the 8th. Be nice to get that victory. Finish the year at 72 and 90. And Jesse, when you look at that, let's say it's 72 and 90, right? You're in the single digits of games below 500, and I think that's something to be said about that. Right? 81 and 81 is 500. You finish with 72 wins. You're 9 games below 500, and with the way this team was into spring training, not a lot of people were expecting for this team to win 72 games.
I don't think there's any question that they have outperformed expectations, at least externally. I don't know that that is something Andy would agree with,
right,
based upon that conversation we just had. I think he's got his own expectations. But there's no doubt they have won more games than basically anybody on the outside expected. Ryder Jones takes just outside. 2-0 from McGrath after the walk to Span. Second at bat for Jones, who took over defensively once Buster Posey left this game. Flew out to deep center field and is only at bat.
Oh, good throw would have had him.
Solarte getting pretty infrequent action at first base this year. So not going to get any extra help from him, just not involved that much defensively at this position. Comes home this time, and it's fouled back. Just the 4th start of the year for Solarte at first base. Final day of the 2017 regular season. All 30 teams playing at the exact same time. Playoff fields are set. A couple of pieces of drama perhaps today. in terms of personal accomplishment, and I think Giancarlo Stanton, sitting on 59 home runs, would be near the top of that list. Only 5 guys have ever hit 60 in a single season. Hasn't been done since 2001.
And you mentioned earlier today that he was batting leadoff today.
That was the plan. I have not checked the box score to see if he actually did, but they were talking about doing that, and yeah, he is batting leadoff. Has not homered yet. Travis Jankowski makes the catch, this time in shallow center against Ryder Jones. Span back to first with 2 away, and Brandon Crawford coming up. Another left-handed batter for McGrath to face. Crawford had 3 hits in the first game of the series. An RBI single, a 2-run single, a double. Another pair of hits here today.
Kyle's done well against left-handers going into this appearance. 4 for 22. That's a 182 clip for the soft tossing left-hander. 86 fastballs, 75, 76 changeup, maybe 77 at times. The floater.
Long look at Span, who's going, and they've got him picked off. Got a lot of guys playing out of position for the Padres here, and Span in a tie game on the last day of the season is not giving up. And the catcher, Luis Torrens, is the one who eventually tags him out. One last pickle of 2017. Span picked off to end the 8th. Still tied. San Francisco Giants, including that walk-off, including a 9th inning home run here that tied the game, including a 3-run homer the day after the walk-off. He has terrorized the San Francisco Giants. And now one final chance to do so here in 2017. Tie game, 9th inning, leading off against Hunter Strickland, and he popped him up. Catcher Hundley trying to find it in the sun. Now Sandoval comes in, and the first baseman makes the catch. No more Hector heroics in 2017.
Nick discussing it with Pablo there. You know, the wind is howling. The flag's out in center field, blowing straight out. This ball is high. Hundley is positioned. Now he bails. Oh, and Sandoval almost overruns that one.
I do not see it. I do. Dicey. The play was made, and that's out number 1 for Strickland in the 9th. Top of the order now, Travis Jankowski. pitching has taken over in this game. There have not been any runs scored since the Giants got 3 to tie it up in the 4th. Padres run scoring came early. Got a pair in the 1st. They opened up with 4 straight hits against Johnny Cueto. 2 runs in the 1st inning, another on the Renfro homer in the 3rd, and then an RBI single by this guy in the 4th. Nothing since. Two balls and a strike. Up high, 3-1 to Jankowski, who's trying to come up with his first 4-hit game since last August 8th, 2016.
Well, he's probably going to get a fastball here. Think left field, hit it on the line, hit it on the ground hard somewhere.
Alan Cordoba on deck. Replace starting shortstop Eric Ibar back in the 4th inning. Payoff pitch, and Jankowski takes high, ball 4. This should be a fun cat and mouse game right now with Strickland and Jankowski and Nick Hundley, because you got to figure he's going at some point.
Absolutely. You get a jump, go, take it, get in the scoring position, make something happen. You know, you might buy a fastball for a Cordoba.
Sure.
Find a gap, chalk up a run.
We may have seen 1 or 2 pitch outs the entire season.
Yeah.
You might see one here. And obviously a throw to first to start it all out. Jankowski, arguably the fastest Padre in a straight line. Stole 71 bases at Elsinore in 2013. Not running, and Cordoba sends it in the air to straightaway center. Span makes the catch. 2 away. Got his fastball.
Just couldn't get on top of it.
Runner on first, 2 outs is Suaje. If he's able to get it to the outfield, you figure with 2 outs, Jankowski could make it interesting as long as it's not hit right at somebody. Where are you going? Down the left field line?
I like that, but it's going to be tough to pull Strickland unless he throws something off speed that's right into the swing path that speeds up his bat. You know, off third, Ryder Jones in between that bag and the defender could squeak something by there.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, left field line, third baseline.
Yeah,
left side.
Yeah,
opposite field. Jankowski goes. The pitch is taken. It's a ball. Throw to second is not in time. Just in underneath the tag of Brandon Crawford. So Jankowski gets his 4th big league stolen base of the season. And now that potential go-ahead run in scoring position.
High leg kick and everything, and the play at second base. He gets his hand in, his left hand.
Oh, Nick thought he had the walk-off.
He looked clearly safe on that one, didn't he? Are they going to review this?
They are going to review this. I thought it was very, very close. Tie game, 9th inning. And a challenge by Bruce Bochy in obviously a pretty big spot. Let's take another look. I think he's safe. By the time the glove gets down on the 16, you figure that left hand was in there.
Oh, he's safe.
Yeah, he's safe. Because you could tell on that first shot that the glove didn't come down until it hit his number. So I'm with you. That should be a stolen base for Jankowski. Now base it by Suaje could give the Padres a lead here in the 9th. Took the lead in the final frame yesterday with 2 outs. They were down to their final strike. And Austin Hedges sent one out into right center field. Padres went from a run down to a run ahead. Brad Hand closed it out. It's Ted Barrett on the right. He's the crew chief. Remember, everybody's playing at the same time, so who knows? Maybe there's a review in Kansas City or something. We got to wait our turn. Bochy's trying to get himself to the bottom of the 9th inning. What do you think, man?
You know, I thought that one. Oh, here they come.
There you go, stolen base. Poor Nick Hundley. Thought he had it. That was a great throw, though.
Yeah.
Travis got in there. And a hitter's count for Suaje. Two balls and a strike. Jankowski now at second base with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and it'll be 3-1 to Suaje with Yangervis Solarte waiting on deck. Brad Hand, Phil Maton both throwing. Presumably Hand if he got the lead, Maton if it stays tied. That depends for the moment on Hunter Strickland and Carlos Suaje. 3 balls and a strike. Jankowski at second, and he pops it up. Had trouble with one a moment ago. Sandoval makes it a bit more routine this time, and the top of the 9th inning comes to a close. We are still tied at AT&T Park. And the Padres and Giants not giving an inch. This thing tied 4-4 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and Phil Maton going to be the guy to try and keep it 4-4.
And we've seen Phil Maton this year mature at the big league level. His 46th game for the right-hander, 42 plus frames. The strikeouts are there, more strikeouts than innings pitched. Have a little difficulty with left-handers though, and a 294 clip, 4 home runs, and what do you know, to start off this inning is a left-hander for the Giants.
One with some power as well, Brandon Crawford. At least relative power to the rest of their roster. 14 home runs. Only Brandon Belt has more. He's on the disabled list. Giants have 8 walk-off wins this year. Most recent, September 19th against the Rockies. Hunter Pence, a sacrifice fly. 2 walk-off homers. Hundley against the Cardinals earlier this month, and Posey against the Reds back in May.
Now, Maton does not have that overpowering fastball, but he's got the fastball that is up in the zone effectively. Cut fastball as well, along with that slider of his. Breaking ball.
Three balls and no strikes to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 9th. Padres will win the season series no matter what. They're 12-6 against the Giants this year. They have played well for Andy Green both at AT&T Park and at Petco. And just trying to avoid losing a series to San Francisco for the first time this season. Three balls and a strike to Crawford, and now a full count, 3-2.
Oh, he was spinning. He was turning and burning on that heater. As I mentioned, Maton, 94 on the fastball. He'll cut it. This one's in. And quick to it is Crawford. That's very tough to keep fair. Phil also has a very effective curveball, which is nice, but I think he's going to challenge him away here with a fastball. Oh, looks like Torrens is set up inside.
And on 3-2, another foul ball.
I like that. Challenge him inside. Full count.
Payoff pitch to Crawford and another foul ball. Never underestimate the competitiveness or pride of a professional athlete.
No matter the situation, pitcher, hitter, last place, first place, you don't give away innings or at bats.
Hand on deck, Parker to follow. Aces 5, 6, and 7 in the Giants batting order. Ninth pitch from Maton to Crawford is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Phil Maton with a battle against the veteran shortstop, 1 away.
He continued to pound in, and the last one, a wrinkle, a breaking ball at 82. Swung right over the top of it for the strikeout. And a nice job by catcher Luis Torrens, getting that target, keeping it down in there, forcing his pitcher to get that pitch down there.
Pablo Sandoval has done a lot of damage in a Giant uniform over the years. And he takes strike 1 from Maton. 110 home runs in a San Francisco uniform, 4 this year. Obviously not the guy he once was. Maton ahead of him, no balls and 2 strikes.
Maton going soft early to Sandoval. 2 breaking balls in a row to get ahead 0-2. Now this is where the fun starts. You can throw him back of the screen and he might swing at it.
Might hit it too. Just missed.
You're right.
Sandoval has hit 1 home run at AT&T Park this year. It came from the right side a couple of weeks ago against Jorge De La Rosa of the Diamondbacks. Now left-handed against Maton and behind in the count 1-2. Just laid off.
Oh, he wanted to. You can see what Phil and Luis are thinking. They don't want to throw him a strike. It's got to be in that one certain area to where he's going to fish for it. And hopefully not get on top of it and maybe pop it up if he puts it in play.
Sandoval 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts, including a double play, and again just off the plate. And the count is full, 3-2.
Another cutter, it looked like, wanting to go outside corner. Maybe an off-speed pitch curveball, 82-ish.
Now the 3-2 to Sandoval, and it's in the air to right field and deep. Renfro's looking up. A walk-off for Pablo Sandoval in game 162. In what can only be described as a miserable year for the Giants, they get a nice way to go out on a Sandoval walk-off.
Phil Maton had him 0-2. Trying to work him, make him fish for something. Up and away, up and away. Boy, this one was down, middle in. And that's right into the swing path of Sandoval. And he sends everybody home happy on this final game of the 2017 season.
He is the Cardinals junior star of the game. His 5th home run back in a Giant uniform. His 2nd at AT&T Park. His 1st batting left-handed. A dramatic end to the 2017 regular season here in San Francisco. And for the first time in 6 tries this year, the Giants win a series from the Padres, who still took 12 of the 19 games between the two teams this year. A 5-4 Giant win on the final day of the season. Back to San Diego, Mike Pomerantz says Padres Live, the postgame show.